Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about A Wrinkle in Time, written by Madeleine Lengle. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, in this work by Madeleine Lengle, we're introduced to a character by the name of Meg Murray. The book pretty much starts off with her. She's at her house. It's in the middle of a storm, and rain is falling, and there's wind blowing outside, and she's kind of scared. So she kind of leaves her bedroom that's in the attic, and she goes downstairs, and she finds Charles Wallace Murray, who is her brother. So pretty much we kind of get introduced to the family, to the Murray family. There's the twins. It's Meg and Charles Wallace, and the mother, who's a scientist, and she's extremely brilliant. We learned that the father is not at the house, and it's a very sore subject to talk about. Meg is getting bullied at school, and the whole community is kind of like a tight-knit community. So whatever happens, people know what's going on, and everybody believes that Meg's father ran away with another woman and kind of like deserted the family. And Meg, she's not doing good in school. And Charles Wallace has a very close connection with Meg, and they're just trying to survive as a family. Now, the mother, she doesn't believe that the husband left and ran away with some girl. She's very hopeful. They know that he went on a mission with the U.S. government that he was working with. And they know that he's doing something for the greater good. So Meg, she's extremely proud of her father. Her father's kind of like a deity to them because he's very intelligent. He's very smart. The mother loves him. The mother, hasn't, she didn't betray him in any way. And so the family's just going on. Now, Charles Wallace, there's some rumors about a lot. Like this book, one very interesting thing about it is, the first thought that you have about certain characters, it's not the one that sticks. And what I mean by that is Charles Wallace, for example, he's 5 years old, but he's extremely brilliant. He didn't talk for the first couple of years of his life that he was supposed to talk. And so he was, a lot of people heard about this, and they kind of, before he even really got into school, people were bullying him. They thought that he was stupid. They thought that he was going to be just not a normal kid, basically. But he's actually extremely brilliant. Just because he doesn't talk at the beginning of the book, that doesn't mean he's not a brilliant individual. And Charles Wallace becomes this very, very interesting character throughout the book, and he really shows his intelligence. So the book goes on. We really see the world in Meg's eyes. We really see the book through her eyes and what she's going through at school. What she's going through in her family life, and all these things that are happening in her life that she has to keep control of. Her principal is questioning her. Her teachers are questioning her, and they're kind of like thinking about her family life. She's a very bright individual. This whole entire family. That's one thing that you take away from this family is that they're all very bright people. The mother has several degrees. The father has several degrees. Charles Wallace is intelligent and brilliant at a young age, and Meg is pretty much, she's a brilliant individual when it comes to math. And one thing that we learned from Meg from the get-go of the novel is that she takes a lot of shortcuts when it comes to doing math, and it's things that she learned from her father. And this actually is a big It reveals a big thing about what's going to be revealed to us later within the novel. So the fact that Meg takes shortcuts when she's doing math. So the novel goes on, and Meg is going through what she's going through at school, and Charles Wallace is there to comfort her, to be a support to her, and just to be there with her. There's a lot of insecurities in terms of what Meg is going through, because she's a young girl. She's about 12 years old, but she doesn't feel beautiful. She has braces. She has glasses. Her mom, she believes that her mom is extremely beautiful, but her mom doesn't think that she's that beautiful. She thinks that she's average. And she says that Meg just hasn't seen enough people to see that she's an average looking woman. But Meg is always thinking that she's not attractive, she's not beautiful. And that's pretty much her world when we're first introduced to her. Now, for me, while I was reading this novel, I thought this novel was going to be like one of those normal novels where a girl that thinks that she's ugly meets a guy, and they start a romantic relationship. She takes the glasses off, she takes the braces off, and she's beautiful too. Those old cliche type of books, type of movies where all you have to do is take off your glasses, take off your braces, I don't know, lose a couple pounds, and you're drop dead gorgeous and happily ever after. That's not realistic. That's not real life. And I'm glad that the story didn't go that way. What happens next? Now, the thing is, like, while I was reading it, it felt like it was going to go that way because we meet another individual by the name of Calvin. He comes into the story, and he's like an athletic guy. He's a popular individual at Meg's school, and you kind of think that, okay, Meg and Calvin, they're going to become a couple. He's about the age of 14. They're going to become a couple. They're going to, Meg is going to become beautiful, and then that's like the solution to the story. But that's not what happens at all. We see Charles Wallace, Meg, and Calvin. They've become friends, and we start to learn about these three W's, these three women that are by the names of Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which. And these old women are like these they call them tramps when we're first introduced to them. And what tramp basically means is like kind of like a bum. Basically, they go from place to place, sleeping from place to place, sometimes stealing a few things. We're introduced to them by them stealing some sheets from some woman, but I guess they just needed sheets. So these three characters, they meet up with these other three characters, the three W's, and we quickly learn that there's about to be a rescue mission for Meg's father, and that Meg's father, was a genius. He was working with the government, and he's been sent to some planet somewhere to fight evil, and now they need the kids to come and save their father, and I guess the kids are the best option to save their father. So, okay, that's what's next with the story. So they everything just fades into black. We're seeing this through Meg's vision. They're kind of like outside. There was this one scene where Meg and Calvin are kind of having a conversation by themselves outside, where they're talking about where her father is, or if her father is dead, and Meg gets emotional. Charles Wallace comes out of nowhere. Then the three W's come out of nowhere: Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which. And they say they're gonna go get their father. We're gonna go on this rescue mission, and then everything fades to black, and we land on another planet. And then we learn that Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which, these old women that look like they can't lift a pound, these old women that look weak, they're actually centaurs or horse-like creatures that have broad backs, and they're extremely strong, extremely powerful, and they're kind of connected to God. There's a lot of like references to the Christian religion within this text. We have Charles Wallace picking the book of Genesis as his bedtime story, which I don't remember being read the book of Genesis as a bedtime story. That's heavy literature. That's heavy. They said that they read him the book of Genesis. Does anybody know how long the book of Genesis is? But that's what Charles Wallace reads as a bedtime story. So there's a lot of religious stories, religious texts that come up within this book, and it's revealed to us that Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which, they're fighting evil. They show the kids evil, this darkness that's covering a number of planets. And these, they have to have fighters to fight off the evil, to fight off the darkness in the world, these dark things that are covering planets. It's revealed to us that historical figures in human history, such as Jesus Christ, Mozart, Shakespeare, you name it, they all have been these wonderful fighters of the evilness in the world, and through their works, through what they've done, they fight off the evil in the universe. So I guess Calvin, the 5-year-old boy of Charles Wallace, and the 12-year-old Meg Murray is the new tag team of evil fighting, and that's all revealed to us. It's revealed to us who the three W's are. And now we're on a journey. They go through several different planets. They go see this oracle. This is kind of like the part of the novel where all of these characters get to see different worlds and different parts of the universe. They go to a 2D planet. They go see an oracle medium, and they see different parts, different planets where the evil has taken over. And the next significant thing that happens is where they go to a planet called Camazotz, and this is where the children are going to meet their father. And Camazotz is extremely weird. Oh my God, Camazotz is weird. It's this planet where it's like the center of evil. There's a lot of evil there, but when they get there, it's not really that evil. It's just very organized. This planet, there's this massive brain, what they call the massive brain It, and this massive brain controls the entire planet. Everything is organized. Everything is done timely. Everything is done with precision. Everything is done precisely. Like bouncing a ball is done precisely. Your job is done precisely. Everything is done precisely. Everybody in this planet, they go to bed at the same time. They wake up at the same time. It's kind of like a massive machine. That's how efficient this planet is, and the brain does all of the thinking. So the people pretty much, they don't have free will. So Charles Wallace, Meg, and Calvin, they're walking and they're witnessing all of this. They're asking questions. Mrs. What's that, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which. They actually don't tell them a lot about this planet. They just kind of give Meg spectacles. They tell Charles Wallace not to be prideful because his pride will be his undoing. And they tell Calvin that his greatest skill is to communicate with people. So they go off with that. They go to Central Intelligence. That's the Central Intelligence of Camazotz. You know, that's really obvious. So they go to Central Intelligence. I mean, when you land on an alien planet, it's quite convenient that there's a Central Intelligence. That is quite amazing. And so they go to Central Intelligence, and they meet a boss-like figure that hypnotizes Charles Wallace, and he falls into their hypnotism, and he becomes a part of Camazotz's structure, and he believes into it. Now, Charles Wallace's pride, it gets to him because they told him not to be prideful. He thought that he could overcome this planet by looking into it, by understanding it through his intellect. It really didn't work because the thing is, this planet is all about intelligence. A big brain controls it. If you're going to use your brain to defeat a brain, it's just not, a small brain going against a big brain. Well, the big brain is going to win. So the big brain won, and Charles Wallace gets stuck into this world. Meg is not happy. Calvin is not happy. They try to fight this boss person off, and he pretty much makes Charles Wallace do his bidding. They go find Meg's father. Meg uses the little glasses to get through these atoms. It's really cool, the science and the things that you see within this book and the explanations of different things in this book. So Meg uses the glasses that the three W's gave her. She rescues her father. Meg's father, her, and Calvin and Charles Wallace, they go to the big brain now because now it's show and tell. And they try to fight off the big brain because the big brain is always trying to get into everybody's mind and control everybody because it thirsts for power and control. So they try to overpower it by reciting different things like the Declaration of Independence, like math. Meg, she's awesome at math, so she tries to think about math and tries to not get into the hypnotism, not trying to get the it or the brain get into her head, but they pretty much are about to get sucked into it or become mind controlled. But Meg's father, he grabs Calvin, he grabs Meg, and they tesseract out of there. Now, another interesting thing about this book, they use the word tesseract a lot. What that basically is, it's just traveling through dimensions. Again, we know that Mrs. What's That, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which, they're not normal beings. They're kind of like beings that can go through different dimensions. They can go through from the first through the fifth dimension, and maybe they can go through more dimensions than that. but they're using the fifth dimension. When they travel through the fifth dimension, what that basically means is they're making a wrinkle in time, hence the title of the book. They make a wrinkle in time, and I'm not going to get into physics with you guys, but yeah, they go through a wrinkle in time using the fifth dimension, and that's what they call a tesseract. That's a wrinkle in space, and they can travel from planet to planet, from places to places, dimension through dimensions. And Meg's father, he uses that. He gets Meg out of there. They land on a planet. At first they were scared of the creatures, these like tentacly creatures, these massive tall creatures that have tentacles. They were afraid of them. They thought that they were going to hurt them, but they're actually nice creatures. And this one tentacly creature called Mrs. Beast, she takes care of Meg. She was frozen after tesseracting to this planet because tesseracting is not fun, and Meg's father doesn't have any practice in tesseracting, and she almost died, but she didn't. The Mrs. Beast heals Meg back to health. They're all happy. They're all they get to eat. It's actually really an interesting planet because the Beast planet, or the tentacle planet, these beasts don't have eyes, and listening or reading the conversations that they have between the humans and these tentacle monsters, they don't have sight, and it's hard to describe vision to creatures who don't have vision. So they try their best to explain it, and it doesn't really work that well, because when you different species on different planets living in different ways in different bodies, it's hard to describe to each other how they see the universe and how they live through the universe. It's almost like trying to describe color to someone who was born blind. It's hard to do that. It's hard to describe color to someone who can't see. So that happens on this planet. The three W's, they come: Mrs. Whatside, Mrs. Who, and Mrs. Which. They come. They have a huge conversation, a lot of debate, and they all agreed that Meg should go back to Camazotz and rescue Charles Wallace, because the brain took him over and hypnotized him and took his brain over. So Meg goes back. She was scared at first when she lands on the planet again. But she goes back. Mrs. Whatside, the three W's tell her that they love her, and that they love her, and she takes that. She goes to the big brain. She goes to Charles Wallace. She conveniently finds Charles Wallace where they left him, and she tells him that she loves him very passionately. I love you. I love you. I love you. Charles Wallace comes back to himself, and the big brain is defeated. They land back on their planet magically. Well, through Tesseract, they land back on their planet, and father's back home, mother's back home, everybody's home, and everybody's happy. Meg's back home. Charles Wallace is back home. The three W's are happy. The hero saved the day. And that's pretty much how the book ends. And, the mother wasn't mad, and nobody was mad that they were gone for so long, because since, they're using dimensions, they can manipulate time and space. So they were gone for 5 minutes. So that's the book. Very interesting book. I like the science in it. I like what's going on in it. I love the fact that it wasn't a cliche book about a girl that's not pretty, but she takes off her glasses and she finds a basketball star in Calvin, and happily ever after, and daddy comes home and everything's cool. I love the fact that it wasn't that type of book. In terms of analysis, what's really significant about this book is that there's a lot of Christian ideas, Christian religion within it. But I do have some problems with this, though, because Camazotz, yes, they say it's the source of evil and the dark thing is there, but the thing is, Camazotz, there's no crime, there's no lawlessness, there's no evil, there's people are not killing people left and right. People are not killing people left and right. So there is no quote unquote evil, or how Christians describe sin. That's not really what we see in Camazotz. It's just supreme organization, supreme proficiency. Everything's precise. Everything is done with order, right? there's nobody with a samurai sword chopping heads off in town square. It's Kamazat's not evil. There's food for everybody. There's the planet is not dying because of different things. There's nobody attacking anybody. There's no purge. There's no nothing like that. It's actually a crime-free planet. But the reason why it's considered to be evil is because there's no love. And the big brain, it doesn't know love, and that's why it's evil, because it doesn't allow individuality. It doesn't allow people to be themselves. It doesn't allow people to be who they are. They just have to all fit into what the brain wants, so they don't have free will, and that's what's so evil about it. But I mean, I guess that is evil. I guess organization in that sense, in the sense where you lose your free will, you lose your ability to make decisions for yourself, that is evil. But I mean, living on a planet with no crime and no problems, and everybody gets to eat, everybody gets a home, that doesn't sound so evil. But that's just my opinion. But I mean, if you live on a planet like that, I guess you would lose the great artists, great musicians, because the brain decides all that. So you wouldn't have that creativity that humans love, and we wouldn't have our great artists, like Little John and other great songs, and we wouldn't have Gangnam Style and things like that. So we gotta keep creativity, and it's very important. But that Christian, because the Christian definition of evil is sin and horror and killing people for no reason, being greedy. That's what the Bible describes as sin and things like that. It doesn't describe organization as sin. So the fact that this Bible, this book, this story kind of condemns the fact that there's no love, that's the most dark thing in the universe. It's not strange, but it's not what I would personally describe as the darkest thing in the universe. Love is definitely important. It's definitely necessary. But Kamazat's, when you first land on it, it doesn't seem that evil. It just seems very creepy and very hyper organized. But that's how they describe evil. So I mean, it depends on how you look at it and how you view it. But that's how I see the book. Very interesting. It takes a nice take on religion and what's what they see as evil, or what the author sees as evil. I love the fact that it doesn't take Meg to a cliche, and it gives you a nice ending. So that's my summary analysis of this book of A Wrinkle in Time. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video.